So you're probably thinking, Sam, did you take your pills today, man? Is everything good? Cause these two games couldn't be any further apart from each other. And you're right, because on the surface, Battlefield is a casual large-scale first-person shooter, and Arc Raiders is a third-person extraction shooter. But behind the scenes, there are some very interesting connections between the two franchises that I wanted to talk about in this video. Yes, you are seeing Arc Raiders gameplay on screen right now. My only video ever to not have Battlefield gameplay. So yes, it does feel weird for me too, but I got access to the tech test for this game a few days ago, and I've been playing it pretty consistently since then. And now that it's over, I'm actually really missing playing this game. This game hooked me a lot more than I thought it would. The only extraction shooter I've ever really enjoyed was, I don't know if people count this one, but the Division 1. I was pretty hooked on that game back in the day. I probably got like 1,000 hours in the original Division game, but obviously I'm a Battlefield guy, right? So I couldn't help but think while playing Arc Raiders that there was a lot of aspects in this game that Battlefield and the current developers at DICE could kind of take some notes and learn from. And if you don't know, Embark Studios, the development team behind Arc Raiders and the finals, is made up of a lot of ex-DICE developers. A lot of these guys worked on some of the older Battlefield games and even EA's Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. And you can not only see this when playing the game, but you can hear and feel it too, you know? So we're gonna talk about it. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna share what I loved about Arc Raiders and where I hope DICE can take some notes and implement for Battlefield 6. Really quick though, if you're enjoying the content around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I mainly play and talk Battlefield here. Hey, if you guys like Arc Raiders, then I'll definitely show you guys some more in the future once it officially releases, because I'm definitely going to be playing it. But if you're a Battlefield fan, stick around while we wait for the new game. So number one, Arc Raiders nailed the sound design, man. This is arguably one of the most important aspects of your video game when it comes to immersion and gameplay. And obviously, this is very important in an extraction type shooter, especially when it comes to footsteps and directional audio. So I'm not surprised that the quality of the sound design is this good for Arc Raiders, but in general, the cracks of the bullets from a sniper rifle, the in-game world audio where you hear players having fights in the distance, it reminds me so much of older Battlefield games like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3, and it makes sense. A lot of that talent works at Embark Studios now, but Battlefield kind of lost its way with its audio design in the past few titles, especially in 2042. I wouldn't say it's the worst audio I've ever heard by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not Battlefield audio. You know, the War Tapes audio mode in Battlefield games used to mean something, and in 2042, it doesn't really make a difference. Everything in that game just kind of sounds flat, for a lack of a better term. So I hope and expect DICE to return to form with Battlefield 6 when it comes to the audio department. From the leaks we've seen, it sounds like they're on the right track. And usually audio is one of the last things that they refine and develop when it comes to video game development, but we're gonna have to wait and play it ourselves to truly experience what they are doing with the audio for the next game. Second would be world building. Older Battlefield games used to have like this aura around them, you know, like you'd hop into a match and the world shown to you through the maps and the in-game voice dialogues and the rockets in the background and the skybox used to really pull you in and immerse you into the world of this map that you're fighting on. It made you feel like you're taking part in this bigger overall war. Obviously, audio is a big part of this as well, but visually, Arc Raiders absolutely excels in this department. The world you are traversing seems very much to be alive. When you're running around, you'll see and hear random bombs going off in the distance. The lighting and weather effects are absolutely incredible. Again, I know shitting on 2042 is kind of an old stale Battlefield YouTuber meta. I do find enjoyment in that game sometimes, don't get me wrong, but the lack of these kind of elements in 2042 is one of the reasons that game feels cartoony and almost like lifeless, you know? Like nothing ever really feels real in that game, despite technically it being one of the most impressive Battlefield games ever when you consider the tornado and the size of the maps and the player counts. But technically impressive doesn't always mean fun and immersive. And that's easy to see when you compare Arc Raiders and Battlefield 2042. So I would love to see them bring this back. Again, you used to see battles raging in the distance and artillery strikes being shot off when you would play older games like Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 1. And this truly does a lot for the immersion. This is one of the major reasons Battlefield maps feel different than, for example, a ground war map for Call of Duty. The environment and immersion of the maps visually just transports you into this like war-torn world that you don't get by simply just making the map and player count larger. And then third and finally, the UI in Arc Raiders is incredible. It does remind me a lot of Battlefront's UI. It's very clean and modern looking. Obviously, the UI has to match the tone and art style of the game and the world you're playing in. So I'm not saying, hey DICE, copy paste Arc Raiders UI into Battlefield 6, but my point is Arc Raiders UI matches the vibe and tone set by the world they've created and never takes you out of the immersion of the game. And in my opinion, ironically, the best kind of UI for games is the kind of UI that you don't even really notice. Does that make sense? Like, obviously UI is extremely important for giving you vital information on the battlefield, but that's not my point. My point is that when you have bad UI, it can distract from what you're trying to do or focus on in game. Battlefield used to have a very premium feeling user interface, in my opinion. When you look back at Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, the UI was just so clean. It really did match the tone of each individual game. The UI seemed very well thought out when it came to color scheme and how it was perceived in each map and how it was developed for each map. And when you get too flashy and colorful with the UI, it kind of backfires, in my opinion, and pulls you out of the game, and it ends up looking cheap and almost like a free-to-play game, you know? And this is one thing I hope is very much in development for Battlefield 6. Originally, because it was new with the initial leaks, I did like the UI because it's already better than 2042's attempt at a user interface, but the more I see of the leaked gameplay, the UI is definitely something I hope they refine and tone down. I'm not a fan of the glowing highlights around squad mates or the bright colors for the objectives. Obviously, this is purely subjective in my opinion on the matter, but if you're trying to accomplish a war-torn and gritty atmosphere with your game, no matter how cool and dark you design the maps to look and feel, if your UI is bright and colorful and neon and you have all these glowing LED lights everywhere on screen, it kind of just pulls you out of that world that you worked so hard to create for the player. Now, I would love to see a return of Battlefield 4's UI. In my opinion, it's one of the best in the series. Now, Battlefield 3's UI is incredible as well, and ironically, it is a lot more colorful and closer to what I think they're trying to do with Battlefield 6. But again, the UI of Battlefield 3 just matched the world and the sound design so well that it never pulled you out of the game. But let me know what you guys think. I bet you've seen a lot of Arc Raiders gameplay on the internet lately. It's kind of taken over the gaming scene the past couple of days. Is there anything that you noticed in Arc Raiders that you would like to see in Battlefield 6? Again, keep in mind, Embark Studios consists of a lot of ex-DICE developers. So obviously I'm not saying I want Arc Raiders mechanics in the game. It's a completely different genre of of a shooter. But when it comes to sound design, visuals, UI, etc., what did you notice that you've been missing from the past few Battlefield games? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. And if you made it this far in the video, I do truly appreciate you. If you enjoyed what you watched, definitely consider hitting that like button. It does help me out a lot. And if you're new around here, definitely subscribe for more Battlefield content. Hey, maybe some Arc Raiders if you guys did enjoy that. Today is also the investors call for EA, so I'm curious if we're gonna get some more news and updates on the next Battlefield game. I will definitely make a video and let you guys know if we hear anything exciting, such as release windows or trailer dates. So definitely stick around for that. But until the next video, my name is Sam. Have a good one. Bye.